One quiet morning, AumSum rolled out of bed, but something strange happened. His feet didn't touch the floor. They clunked onto his metal bed frame instead. Confused, he tried stepping away, but every time he moved, his feet stuck to something metallic. The cupboard, the table legs, even his alarm clock. His feet had somehow turned into magnets. At first, it was a disaster. As AumSum walked through his house, spoons, forks, pans, and even his toaster flew toward his legs and clung on. He could barely take a step without turning into a walking junk pile. Outside, things got even crazier. His feet stuck to manhole covers, bicycle racks, and passing delivery vans. Each step became a challenge. But AumSum wasn't one to panic. He began to understand how his magnetic feet worked. He could stick to anything metal, sideways, upside down, even straight up a pole. Soon, he was climbing traffic lights, scaling buildings, and even walking across the underside of a steel bridge just for fun. One day, a massive tower crane in the city jammed during a construction job. A heavy metal beam hung loose at a dangerous angle, threatening to fall onto the crowded street below. The emergency crew couldn't reach it in time, and panic began to spread. But AumSum had an idea. Without waiting, he ran toward the building, his magnetic feet clanking with each step. He raced up the scaffolding. As the crowd watched in awe, AumSum climbed higher and higher. He reached the jammed beam, carefully positioned his magnetic feet, and with all his magnetic strength, he hurled the jammed beam towards the nearby lake. AumSum climbed down to a loud applause. Reporters rushed to cover the story, calling him the Magnet Hero, and the mayor gave him a special medal for bravery.
To buy AumSum merchandise, visit AumSum.com.
Something impossible happened at the very center of space. A blazing crack tore across the sun's surface, and the once steady star burst into two enormous halves. The two glowing halves drifted apart slightly, releasing violent streams of solar flames in different directions. Mercury raced away nervously, scorched by sudden waves of extreme heat. Venus spun restlessly. Farther out, Earth suffered the most. AumSum was traveling through space when the sun broke into half. He felt a powerful shock wave rush past him. AumSum understood that if the sun remained divided, Earth and the other planets would not survive for long. As AumSum entered the dangerous solar zone, intense heat surrounded him. Then, something extraordinary happened. His chest glowed brightly, and his breath changed. AumSum could now inhale and exhale solar flames. Floating between the two sun halves, AumSum began his rescue. He inhaled the chaotic solar flames pouring from the first half, reducing its violent eruptions. He then turned toward the second half and exhaled steady streams of solar flames back into it. The solar flames canceled each other, and even the second half began to calm down. Finally, the two sun halves slowed their uneven movement and began drifting closer together. At last, the two halves fused together. The planets cheered loudly for their hero, AumSum. AumSum was walking through a park on a cold winter afternoon. Curious, AumSum crouched down and placed his hand close to the ice. Something unusual happened. The ice magically reshaped itself, as if it were listening to him. AumSum moved his hand slightly, and the ice followed the motion. Miraculously, AumSum could now control ice. Excited, he guided a thin layer of ice to grow taller, shaping it into a small, icy tower that sparkled in the sunlight. With another gentle movement, he broke the tower into tiny ice crystals. He made ice slide across the pavement like a quiet, moving mirror and then stopped it instantly. AumSum even shaped ice into different figures. As AumSum continued walking through the park, he heard worried sounds coming from a nearby pond. The pond had frozen over, and children were standing at the edge. looking concerned. Near the middle of the pond, a small remote-controlled toy boat had been left behind and frozen into the ice. One child had tried stepping onto the ice to retrieve it, but stopped immediately when cracking sounds appeared near the edge. AumSum noticed the problem and walked calmly toward the pond. He knelt near the edge and placed his hands on the ice. Instead of cracking, the ice thickened and spread smoothly outward. AumSum guided the ice carefully, strengthening it only where needed. A narrow, solid, icy path slowly formed across the pond, leading straight toward the frozen toy. AumSum stepped onto it confidently. The ice beneath his feet felt strong and steady. He walked slowly along the path, reached the toy, and gently freed it from the frozen surface. Then he turned and walked back along the same icy path. The children cheered loudly for their hero, AumSum.